lives be filled with a dance of grace. And until next time, may the magic be yours. Thank you again, Kelly. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Wait. I have a question before she goes.
Okay.
Previously on Struck by Enlightenment, Grace Alexander, an up-and-coming Gen Z future lottery winner, learns to manifest her dreams by slowing down to the speed of love. And Hallie Green, famous sports acupuncture physician to the stars of the NFL, learns that premonition and manifestation are clearly not the same thing. Join us in episode 18, where these wise sages reunite with Kristen to discuss how to make their dreams become reality.
Welcome to Struck by Enlightenment. I'm Kristen Bomas, your host. I know there have been times in your life where you've had a thought that just passes through your mind, and then later it sits right before you, the answer, and you go, God, I wish I would have listened to that thought. Or you've had that time where you see something in the future and you go, that's really cool, but you pay it no mind, and then it materializes. Or you have a feeling, a hunch, and you know it's a hunch. But again, you let it pass. Those pieces are that intuition inside each and every one of us that alerts us. It's that gut instinct. It's that piece of us that goes beyond this physicality. And so today I'm here with Grace and Holly. You saw them in episodes earlier. And I want you now to join us as we talk about our intuition and how it has shown up in our lives and where it has changed it, where it is changing us, and where we ignored it and wish we hadn't. So thank you for joining us. Holly?
Yes.
Why don't you tell a little bit about, and then we'll bring in Grace. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brings you to this point in your life?
Well, it's been a long journey. It's always been a healing journey, and goes all the way back to when my dad fell ill is when it started. But I didn't know that I was on the healing journey till many years later, and became a massage therapist, got into the whole holistic field, and it just evolved into acupuncture and sports acupuncture and neuropuncture, which is using neuroscience and acupuncture, and it just
And now?
kept going, and now we're looking to the new wave of things in functional medicine.
Very
So
cool.
it's been an evolvement over time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And are you aware that your intuition has played a part in that all the way through?
1,000%. In that respect, yes.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that it's for sure.
I know, right? That's so clear.
That's a for sure one.
Right.
Because that's what led me to make those decisions about what to do next.
Right.
Strongly.
Right.
Because I'd look at other things and something just would pull.
Right.
Over and over and over.
Right. I want to come back to that because that's so powerful. What about you, Grace?
Why am I here? Where I am in
Yes.
life? Well, I'm just kind of living it, honestly. I'm out of college, 3 years out of college. I'm full-time job, looking for another one, bought a house, kind of just doing the things that I want, working hard, and just kind of living the dream that I had when I was a kid.
Correct. And so what was that dream?
That dream? Well, if you were to ask my kindergarten teacher, I would have probably said a teenager. But so we've surpassed that. So I think it was more of I wanted to play sport in college, which I did. That was kind of my high school, middle school goal or things that I wanted to do. And then after that, I was like, I want to get into my career now. And I quit or stopped playing lacrosse early, a year early. And I started my career actually with you. You're the first person to take me in for a job.
And I'm honored.
And then I got a full-time job. And that kind of led me to, or actually, then I bought a house last year. So that kind of leads me to where I am now, kind of continuing my career and doing the things that I want to do at this time in my life.
Right. So even when you were little, you had a dream of being where you are today, but you didn't know it was going to be now. Right? So it's interesting because each of us has that kind of place inside ourselves where you're going to fall off my lap, buddy. Each of us has that place inside our lives where we had a vision, and all of a sudden we go, oh my God, I used to think about this, and now it's real, right? Think about your own life. What are some of those things in your own life where you go back and you go, yeah, I used to think about that, and then it happened, but you never really put it together. There wasn't that awareness of a conscious effort to make it materialize. That's your intuition, right? And so that's really what we're going to be looking at as we go forward. So talk a little bit about, I guess I can even say in my own life, it's from the time I was a little girl, I saw myself. We used to play these games when I was a little girl. We'd go into the bedroom, my sister and I, and we'd play office or we'd play teacher, and we'd have everything all organized. And both of those things have come true today, because what I do today is I teach, but I own a business where I teach life, right? In 6th grade, I was in an architecture course. And in that course, I designed a home. And in that home, the whole basement was an area for animals. And then there was the first floor and the second floor. And at the end of this architectural course, the instructor had us, with our blueprint of this home, draw us into the picture of the house. So I drew me into the foyer, leaving the house with a briefcase, and I was single. And here I am today. This house is clearly not that house. That was a rather large home. However, it's me. I leave every day with my briefcase, and I come home every morning to my animals. And one day there'll be, somebody else in the house. But right now, I have to recognize that in those dreams, there is relevance to today. And so each of us has that. So what are those times in your past, as you look back and you look at it, that brought those forward? Can you see any of that in your own past?
That brought it forward.
I actually have a.
Okay. Yes.
So, it was probably 3 years ago. I had this canvas. It was hanging on my wall. It hadn't even been unwrapped yet. It still had like the film on it, and I didn't know what to do with it. And my roommate's sitting with me, and she's like, just draw whatever you want. Like, you're just doodling on it. It's going to throw away. You're going to throw it away, and you're going to paint something great eventually. But just kind of like doodle on it, whatever you want to draw. On that painting, I actually have a picture of it. I'll have Drew insert picture here. So on that canvas, there was a house, and it had like a low hanging roof. So it was kind of like a beachy feel, and there was a palm tree on it. There was also a ton of hibiscus flowers. There was a sport fishing boat. So like a Spencer, or do you know any other ones?
Grady White.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Fishing boats
Mako.
that like do like the professional kind of fishing, which you could see in the picture. And then there was a guy with a surfboard on his head. There's a guy kind of like riding a fish, and there were surfboards. So, and then there was also four little people dancing. So now a year later, I completely forgot I had done this. A year later, I come back, and on my phone, there's like a memory of it that pops up. And I look at the painting, and I'm like, holy shit, that is the last year of my life. I bought a house, and it has a low hanging roof. I actually call it like a mushroom house. It's kind of like a style down in Florida, style kind of townhome that they have in Florida. And there's 5 palm trees in the front of it, with like a courtyard and stuff. And then I had met a guy at that kind of a couple months after I'd done this doodle, and he works on a sport fishing boat. And he also surfs and he fishes. And then the hibiscus flowers are kind of a huge significance now in my life. Every time I see them, it kind of gives me that sense of like everything's okay, we're good. And I also have 3 hibiscus flowers plants on my courtyard at my house. So that was kind of the situation where I kind of looked back and I was like, wow, I kind of mapped out my year right there.
You absolutely did. And I'm going to come back to that. Did you have something, did that trip something for you? Because I'm going to come back to that if not.
Different things.
Okay.
One of them, though, was the opposite.
Okay.
So there's 2. One was for business, and one was my house. My friend had owned my house, and I went to see him, and we were hanging out, and he just bought it a little bit ago, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I love this house. I'm like, I'll never have a house like this. Right?
See?
But it must have been putting it out there
Yes.
that I wanted that. And then all of a sudden what happened was a few years later, he says, guess what? He's like, I'm moving. I got a job transfer. I'm selling my house. He goes, you have first dibs. And I was like, oh my God. And everything just fell into place to be able to have the money to buy this house.
Of course it did.
It literally fell from the sky.
Yes.
But it started out as I could never do that. But apparently that's not what was really happening. It kind of, you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Yes,
So
I
it was
do.
the opposite. And then another situation with a million situations.
Yes,
but that
there are.
stands out is with business. I had was building my business, transitioned. I was in a 1-room yoga studio, just starting out. And I remember saying after that, it was about a year, that I wanted to find a place, but I didn't want to find a place. I needed something bigger, and I was growing, but I didn't want it to be too far away because I didn't want people to have to I didn't want to be that person that was always moving and they had to go
Right.
find them. And then all of a sudden somebody came into the picture that was renting, that wanted me to come and rent with her literally across the street from the yoga studio. And I was like, what?
Right.
Perfect. It was exactly. It was amazing.
It is really wonderful to look at how life just unfolds for each of us. So when we look at your story, Grace, what's fascinating about you and about your magic is that, I call it magic, is that your intuition is accurate in what you see. So what you're learning in Grace's story is that she let go of all of her thoughts, of all of her expectations, of all of her wants, because that carries doubt. And she sat down at this canvas, a blank canvas, and on that canvas, she started just drawing. So it came from a place inside her that was not consciously controlled being figurative in this case. So what you did is you opened up your intuitive aspect, and you didn't even know you were. But by doing that, there's an alignment that occurs inside us. And that alignment with your intuition is an awareness of it that then allows the manifestation to occur. There's no doubt, right? Then we talk about your doubt. And even though your doubt was there, it was very different. Your doubt was, I don't know that I can have it. And what I want you to kind of see in that is that if in fact the intuition is showing you something, the intuition being the conversation with the energy on beyond this physicality, right? And so if in fact at that moment you're sitting in your friend's home and you can feel a connection to it and you can feel how much you want it, but your self-doubt in this life says, but I can't.
At that time.
Which is a critical piece of everybody. Yes, it does. And it's a critical piece of people's puzzles. And so when you think, I can't, that's there. But something in your life, now this is a little different than yours, something in your life they knew this house was for you. There was a geomancy, there was something about you having this house that was of critical importance to you. And so life, well, there goes the stage set. Sorry, guys. So the energy of the home, it was meant to be. So it hears you, it feels you, it knows you. It also knows the self-doubt, but in this case, it was a critical piece of your puzzle. It's granted you. It's there with purpose. It's for you to see. Okay, it's there for you to see that you can. It's there for you to start to understand the magic that resides inside you because you have an unbelievable intuitive capacity. So that shift from I can't have it to here it is with all of the blessings behind it, making sure it happened, is a statement to you.
And I think it came out when, at first that's what I said, but then when he told me that he was selling his house, and my intuition, I knew the market was changing, that if I didn't do something within the 6 months, I wouldn't be able to afford it.
See, here you are again. You see what you're doing in your head?
No, this is my thought process.
I get it.
I wouldn't be able to afford it in 6 months, so I needed to move now. And then everything just sort of happened.
Of course it did. Of course it did.
Because
but again, you see how the doubt came up? Even though you squelched it and you used it to your benefit, the doubt came up.
Initially.
Right? that doubt that comes up in you is a part of that process. Right?
Clearly.
It's and you can think inside yourself. Do you call it your guides? Do you call it spirit? Do you call it the other side, source, God? You can, whatever you would like, but whatever you wish to call it, it was pushing you to see something beyond your doubts.
For sure.
And so it gave it to you because it was meant to be, as people like to say. But meant to be does not override your free will.
Right.
Ever.
Right, because
So
I could
there's
have
that
not
piece.
followed the trail. And I
Mhm.
went follow the trail
Mhm.
because I decided I wanted it.
Right.
I had the doubt, but my wanting it was so strong. And I do have strong ambition that it I dealt with the doubt and kind of like steamrolled the doubt to make it happen the best I could,
So,
if that makes sense.
oh, it absolutely does. If we put our two thoughts together there's something important that happens. Your doubt was overridden as you're
By
describing
my
it.
own confidence.
Yes.
Determination, by determination, because I wanted it.
I'm going to say yes and no to that. And I'm going to say that what happens there is an alignment that allowed it to happen. But the very thing that life wants you to see, which is your doubt, didn't let go. It wants you to see that doubt. It wants you to see where your doubt could have taken you. It wants you to see that. Like, I don't think anything isn't in this picture without purpose.
Well, and the choice was I did not want to go that way.
You make that choice, right? So you make the choice not to go the doubt way. So the bigger choice is, am I ready to not go the doubt way in the bigger picture? Do you see what I'm saying? Where are the doubts in your life? Where are those self-doubts in your life where you can actually say, oh shit, this is holding me back, right? This is thwarting the great magic, right? Whereas if we look at Grace's picture, she had no thoughts going on whatsoever. In fact, she had
It's better not
the
to think.
complete absence. Well, it's in this
some
case,
respects.
yeah, because she has a complete absence of thought. It's truly from her heart, her spirit, her energy. She just draws what she loves. She's connected to it, and poof, there it is, like magic.
Yep.
But that is magic. It's not a miracle. We can create anything we wish to create. What interferes in our creations are our self-doubts. So you created it, and life said, okay, we're giving this to you because we want you to know how magical you are. We want you to move beyond these doubts so you can create more and more and more. So it's a much bigger statement to you than the other. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah. It's so my doubt comes up in terms of in my career arena, right? Like I have this little piece of me, and it shows itself in career, but it's much more of a personal kind of feeling inside of self. Like there's a self-doubt that is about, am I that voice that people are going to really listen to and hear and know, right? Like what is
It
that?
sounds like imposter syndrome.
Nope. It's a
No?
little
Okay.
not imposter syndrome. I don't feel that at all. I feel much more like it is my voice. My voice is that, and I know where it comes from. I can pinpoint where it comes from. But that little doubt, and I didn't identify it until recently, sat quietly, filtering through and influencing and influencing and influencing. Right?
The devil is in the details.
Yeah.
Devil wears Prada.
Yes, indeed, she does. So when you start to see where the hiccups are in life, and ask yourself where the hiccups are in your own life, right? As you're listening to us, where is it that you feel like life isn't going quite the way you wish it would? Where are your doubts? The word want always carries doubt. So if we're saying want instead of I am, we know there's a hint of doubt or more than, right? Or I have, or it is mine. I can see it happening. So you do that, right? Like, can you talk a little bit about like the lotto and
Oh.
this is great. This is just, this is when it's nice to know your guests before they sit down with you, right?
This could be just me thinking that I'm gonna win the lottery, honestly. But I sat down with Kristen the other day. We were at dinner, and I said, "Kristen, I think I'm gonna win the lottery." And she was like, "Well, I would
Keep
love
on
to
going.
win the lottery too." And I said, "No, I think about it all the time. if I like,
Okay.
I on the way to work, that's the whole
A big lottery or just like a dollar?
like. I won $1.
Really?
I actually wanted 2 tickets today. But I like fully think about it all the time. Like, I have my dream house that I want up in Juneau. I can see myself in it. I could see myself like what I'm doing with my life. Like, obviously it wouldn't work. I mean, I'd work
For
for you,
fun.
but
You want to work
this is fun. I'd work for him for fun.
Yeah.
But like, I think about it all the time. I'm like, what would I do with this money? I'd like help out my parents. I'd make sure like my brothers were in some kind of like trust fund. Like, is it trust fund? Trust fund when they're older, and I would like could see myself with like. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of money, but I could see what I would do with it and how I would like give back and give to my family and make sure everything was right. And like, then of course the fun stuff. And what I mean to tell you, I think about it all the time. Like, if I think about it before bed, like I'm getting lights off in my covers.
How much are you planning to win?
Millions, like 100 million.
100 million.
I've like already like I'm like what I always think about is 150 million.
That's what I wanted to know.
It's 150 million. I would.
Do you keep 150?
Well, you wouldn't. So I guess how it works is where.
But it's
I actually found out today.
It's a big number. That's pretty cool.
I found out today you can over like 70 years you can get like each amount, or you could get all like half of it.
That's what came to you though. That's the number that came to you. That's what I'm wondering.
Half of it would go, but it also could come from like that's what it was the day that I like started looking into it.
See, this is doubt. This is what you do. You take it from what is to what society has taught you to think about it. And this is where we thwart our intuition. And this is exactly what we're talking about, right? Where do we not listen freely, openly, fluidly to the intuitive knowingness that sources from something greater than ourselves? So where is that coming from? And then our little physical self wants to say, no, can't go there. Like, maybe not. Maybe I'm just making it up. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But go ahead. Talk about that.
No,
I know you do. And you're about to tell a part of what you think about that's like so like vivid.
Wait, what was that? What I was talking about?
What you said, well, that's that. Now here's the fun part. House, I think.
Well, you were talking about the house in detail and then you're going to set up trust for your brother.
Oh yeah.
Family.
I was doing all that, but what I would do with all this money. So I obviously, I'm not going to spend $150 million at once. That would be insane. I don't even know what I'd spend it on.
No, nobody does.
But I kind of divide it up. I'd buy my house. I'd definitely get a boat. I'd learn how to drive a boat. I'd hire someone to teach me how to drive a boat.
You could hire staff with that money.
Right. Right. I don't want to do that because I want to cook, and I would hire a cleaner, definitely. Because in a house that's $10 million right on the water, I think I'm going to need a cleaner. I'm going to go crazy cleaning that much property. But and then I'd have 2 dogs, and I'd spend my time. I would go to workout classes, and then I would go volunteer at the animal shelter and like give back to the community and all this stuff. And when I tell you, I cannot think about it before bed, or I will be up for hours thinking about it.
So you have to think about it to get it out.
No, she cannot think about it because once she starts thinking about it,
I won't go to sleep.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, so that's interesting. Wouldn't that thwart it though?
And now I
think maybe that's where what?
Do I sound crazy? Then I said that.
No, then maybe that's where she's supposed to just let it go because you think about it and then just drop it and just let the universe take it.
Why?
I do that in my car ride to work, and then half the time I'm
so
sitting
when we do mantras,
Jolo.
We speak a mantra 108 times. What's the difference?
A thing about winning
like we're
lottery.
putting all these judgments on it that come from somewhere, but certainly not from inside. If something inside you is driving you in that way, it does. But now if we listen to her, we do see where she shifts, and you can feel this. I hope as you're listening to us and watching, you can see this yourself. There's a shift in you from a knowingness in the awareness to a dreaminess about the awareness, right? It's like I go from, I see this, I know this, I can see it, I can feel it, it's there, it's alive, to, and then I would this, and I may probably have that, and I could probably, and you don't use the word probably, but there's that essence that switches, right? Become aware of that. Because that shift in you is where the doubt starts to come in. It's where this societal piece is entered, right? And you want to kind of let that go and open to all that is there. Are you having thoughts? Because I'm going to shift our gears a little bit and take us back to what we talked about before, if not.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So if you go back to the episodes, there are actually 3 episodes where I was interviewing Holly and interviewing Grace. And then Grace was also in the episode with Kelly. And she sticks her head in at the end to ask about moving at the speed of love. And that's the piece I really want to have you think about here. Grace has stepped into her life, and you'll see this in the first episode with Grace, where she stepped into life with all of the essence of who she is and what she wants to do in her life. And she follows that dream on the physical plane. As you then watch her ask her question with Kelly, her question sounds like it's physical plane, but it's opening her to so much more. It's opening her to the energy that creates, to the energy that manifests. And then you listen to her today and you see that Grace has this aspect to her that that knows there's a wisdom inside that's opening within her. And as that wisdom opens, her intuition opens with it, and it does, as those are in alignment, she will manifest. So it will be fun to have her back when she wins the lotto. And
We
so
gonna have a party. Bunch of
Big
so
party.
it's not really as much about
and
winning.
this episode will go viral.
What if winning the lottery is something that just gives you $150 million from somewhere else? You don't know where that money is going to come from, but it's still a lottery.
Where
Like
See that?
Yeah. Not winning the physical lottery, wanting so much that it's like you
It
won the
comes.
lottery.
Right. You never know. You never know. We try to put a label on it, but that's our conscious mind trying to make sense of what we
Lottery
see.
doesn't have to be lotto.
Right. Well, you're still trying to put a physical
Yeah.
definition on something, and that label limits. Money can come from anywhere, right? And so it can come from anywhere. Okay. So, but Holly, you came in, and on your episode, we spoke about the difference between premonition and manifestation. Did I see it and it was going to happen, or did I see it and make it happen? Right? And so that intuition becomes a critical piece of that. And so as we look at your own life, you can see how it can, in this case, what you brought to the table is manifestation. It's got a little bit of premonition to it, but it's you knowing what you want, seeing it, feeling it, sitting in it, and saying, this can be mine, but I don't think I can. So the life says, okay, it's yours, right? So how do you now start to embrace that ability to manifest? How do you also use those times where you see something and you're like the other day when you had that thought pass through and you didn't quite capture it. You didn't quite bring it in. You're like, damn, I wish I would have listened to that, right? Those are your premonitional pieces that say, take me forward.
So the idea is to hear it and not question it, because then it'll come back later and you're like,
well, that's the idea. How do we
should've-
get there?
For me, it's to not think, but to start to feel how
Correct.
it feels, because I'll ask myself, do I want to do this or do I want to do this about whatever situation? I don't know. What feels better?
Mhm.
And the one that feels better is the one I do. And
Good.
sometimes it's crazy, the one that feels better. And I'll be like,
Never crazy.
whatever. It's crazy to me because it may be too bold in what I would think, or too
Do something.
responsible enough. It'd be too something.
Right.
And so
you hear the
I do it.
judgments, right?
Yep. But I do it because it's what inspires me.
Right.
Gonna act out.
Right.
The crazy
I'm
thing.
going to be rebellious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Right.
do it anyway.
Who's stopping
Yes. No, but it's not from a rebellious. It's from it feels right.
Right.
And I'm just
Of
not
course.
stopping it.
Correct. but it's rebellious to the thoughts that would have stopped you.
It's rebellious to those thoughts because I'm like
Correct.
going, hey, take a hike. No, I'm doing this.
Right.
It's crazy, but I'm going to do it. And then I do it, and everything folds in around it so nicely.
So here you are again, right? There's that beauty of what you see. There's that beauty of what you know. There's that beauty of expression of self. And yet there's that peripheral doubt, judgment,
Yeah, I still work on it.
thwarting, right? That's there. And it really is, Holly's experience is so, so, so familiar, right? And so I know you've had that experience in your own life, and I know you've had Grace's experience in your life where you're just so pure and open, and then it's just there, right? And we hear those stories a lot as well. But the truth is, every single day we go through what Holly is describing. We go through those times where we see it, we know it, we feel it, but logic and practicality in life and whatever it is makes us shift.
I think a good way to practice for the big wins is to take the little wins.
Oh, absolutely.
And not disregard them as nothing. Like, even a little thing, like I knew, like that, I was just thinking of you and you just called. Like, that's
Yeah. Those are wonderful, aren't they?
yeah. And acknowledge that that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because then you start attuning yourself to those things.
Correct.
And then, the bigger things aren't so big. They're just another thing.
Right. One step at a time gets bigger and bigger
Because
and
once
bigger.
it's like, oh, that's so big, just in saying that, it's like you're doubting that it's possible because you're already making it.
Right.
By calling it big, almost you're making it intimidating.
Which is your ego involvement, because your ego then says, oh, that's too big for me, right?
Yes.
So as soon as your ego gets involved, the fear gets involved. As soon as the fear gets involved, you thwart it in some way. Everybody does, right? So it's interesting that you're saying all of this, because I think it's so real that if we start with the small and we accept it, and then something a little bit more happens and something a little bit more, just like everything else in life, it grows. Much like anything else blooms in life, it's one step at a time, and then all of a sudden you have it all.
So I learned about the parking fairies.
What is that?
And
She's
I have
great.
no problem with the parking fairies. Wherever I go, I will find the best spot.
Oh.
And then I will thank them all the time.
Dang.
You tend to do that when we go to dinner. You find those up close places all the time. You just haven't realized that's your magic.
But for some reason, that's not a problem. But something else I'm not saying is as easy.
Look at
as an
what life
example.
said to you
But that's
with your house.
That's the small
Maybe
one,
you should own a parking lot.
Huh?
Parking, like, do you not feel like that you should buy a parking lot and put it up for the little pay to park? You make good money doing that.
Oh my God, they do. They charge you. Yeah.
Right. Maybe it's speaking
Boy,
to
we
you
know that
way.
story.
No, it's speaking to me because my intuition knows that the parking fairies will take care of me. But yet when it comes to other things, somehow I forget that the universe will take care of me.
I know. Which takes us back to your home.
Yeah.
Right? That you knew you wanted it, you could feel it, you could see it, you could sense it. It was all yours. That part of the manifestation was crystal clear. That part of you that had the doubt, life said to you, you need to work through it, because you can have everything you wish for if you work through your doubt. And so here you are again, confirming that you're aware of that, and that if you start on the small, that there are the things where like the parking fairies, they're solid over and over and over again.
So the key is to know that about everything.
Correct.
Yes.
So you
Everything's
manifest
a
those parking
fairy.
places. You don't. That's not premonitional. You manifest those. The premonitions are if you see it, like when you're thinking about me and I call. That's the premonition. Those two pieces of your magic are both active in you. They can both be a part of that, right? That's that piece that really opens you to that balance between the two. And then once you can start to distinguish, was it a premonition or manifestation, then you have even more, what's the word I want there? More maneuverability, more, you can embrace which direction you want to go. You're more fluidly in the dance and the rhythm of each of those two, because they complement one another. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. So we looked at a couple things today, and I hope as you were listening to us and watching us that you really thought about your life and where these pieces are in your life, those gut reactions we have, they've driven my business, they've driven my dream. There are times that in my exhaustion, I just want to say no more. I want to give up and I want to just stop the business. But that feeling inside me, that gut that says, this is what I'm here to do at some level, keeps me going. And if we aren't aware of that gut instinct, that gut knowingness, how much do we miss? If we're not listening to those fleeting thoughts that are premonitional, that are showing us or guiding us, what are we missing, right? Doors open when we step outside the limits of the physicality and honor that intuitive aspect of our life, that energetic aspect that takes us way beyond. So we can manifest whatever we wish to manifest, keeping in mind the entire reason we have to manifest it is because we believe we can't have it, and therefore we don't today. So it's turning around that thought that interrupts us having it already that allows us the freedom to create it in our life, somewhere between today and tomorrow. So I thank you for joining us. I hope inside your own self, you opened some doors and you start asking yourself some questions about your own intuitive nature, because it's inside every one of us, just waiting to be felt and honored and put to use.
You always say thank you.
Right? So thank you for joining us. Yes, always be grateful for your magic. Always be grateful for what it shows you. That's what Holly is saying. And always, always
One day,
open that
Get
door,
a parking
right?
spot from the ferry.
one
And
day
then
I'll
say
say thank you for the lottery.
right?
Yeah.
And thank them for
Yes.
everything. Anyway, thank you for joining us today. And until next time, may the magic be yours.
Thank you so much for joining me, and please visit KristenBomas.com, where you can easily access all of my social circles.